Good morning, soul rebels. Good morning, beautiful souls. Let's just gently close our eyelids without straining any part of the face and just look up and in gently, the point between the eyebrows, and continue that intuitive practice of visualizing such a beautiful light at your spiritual eye center. And let's all get immersed in that beautiful light because we are already immersed in that beautiful light. Let's just go deeper in that realization because the blessings are here for you and me and everyone who wants to look up and in to the bright side of life. These are words Yogananda. I'll give them a little melody. We are submerged in the eternal light. We are submerged in the eternal light. It permeates every particle of our beings. It permeates everything. It permeates every particle of our being. It permeates everything. We are the light, the beautiful light. We are the light, the beautiful light. We're living in the light. We're living in the light. We're living in the light, in the light. We're living in the light. We're living in the light. We're living in the light, in the light. Go on, stay submerged in this beautiful, intuitive experience of understanding and realizing the truth, the reality. The essence is light. The source is bliss. Where is that light? It's when you open your eyes of intuition, you will know where. Here, there, everywhere, in all domains, the eternal light of spirit. May it bless you so profoundly right now that your perspective on life changes completely. Your viewpoints, your plans, everything is put aside so that you can realize that the light is all there is. And in that light is perfect intuition and realization and joy and happiness, eternal for all beings. And may this realization open you up to a brand new start from this breath on. As we choose the esoteric path of fire and light. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Amen. So let's thank the beautiful source of us, the soul in us, the truth, for taking us on a journey right now. All right? On a real journey, on a real adventure. And we're going to actually dive right in to these verses 23 to 26, the way of release from the cycles of rebirth, page 740, chapter 8 of volume 2, God Talks to Arjuna. Commentary by Paramahansa Yogananda. You are so welcome here, my precious souls. All souls are precious. Everything is precious. All right? We welcome you all, not my precious souls, but my, in the sense that we are all connected in one unity consciousness. It's a we. We are a we. And we're going to move along happily this morning. All right? So these are verses that Yogananda says in this first paragraph, which we read last week, that these are mostly misunderstood by all the pundits that have commentaries on the Gita. Most completely misunderstood. So the purport, if I move just a little bit ahead of where I was going to start, this is on page 741. That these verses are about liberation, freeing the soul from physical, astral, and causal bodies. That's the purport of these verses. Freedom, liberation, kaivalya, moksha, nirvana, satori, liberation. So easy to forget that, and so difficult to have grow a desire so that you want that, and extremely only for the not the weak of heart, but those who are strong at heart, for the complete, go for it. Freedom or bust, we're going home. So liberation, freeing the soul from the physical, astral, and causal bodies is the purport of these verses. The ponderous scriptures of the rishis have defined in veiled terms the labyrinth of the soul's descension and ascension. Krishna, as here stated, this portion of the yoga science succinctly for the comprehending Arjuna, the advanced yogi devotee, the comprehending Narayan, the comprehending Brook, the comprehended of any soul that wants to kind of open up these eyes that have been shut closed because of the ignorance and the hypnosis that we are under, and give truth a shot, give the light a shot to enter into these very receptive, open, trusting, intuitive eyes of yours, right? Let the light shine in. Okay, so these are special words from Krishna for those advanced yogi devotees like Arjuna. And so stanza 24, these are 23 to 26, but stanza 24 states that the yogi who attains liberation must follow the path of fire. Here, fire means the life energy. Kundalini power, the Kundalini power. Fire here means the life energy within us, aka the Kundalini power. So the very first step for the devotee, the next sentence goes on to say, the very first step or scientific step the devotee takes towards emancipation is to gain control of his and her life force. Now, we have covered so many things as the months and the years have gone by in this Bhagavad Gita. It's all in your garden that is tilled every time you are in self-discipline, self-restraint, self-control, coming back to the present moment and on, to your practices. Every time you do that, you enhance the possibility of knowing a little deeper the truth. And every time we forget, It just adds more of that eclipse on us. It makes it more difficult to, to even get into the ballpark to play the game of the esoteric. This is called the esoteric path of fire and light, followed by the yogi to liberation. And I looked up the word esoteric this morning, just so you guys know what we're doing here, just to give you a little hint. And this is the definition for esoteric: intended for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people with a specialized knowledge or interest. All right. Not everyone's interested in the esoteric, I want to feel my hands around that cold bud. The Bud Light. There's light in that bud, right? And another definition is that esoteric is the quality of having an inner or secret meaning. This term and its correlative exoteric were first applied in the ancient Greek mystery schools to those who were initiated into those mystery schools, because they were looking for a secret meaning to the mysteries of life. All right. So just so you know that we are totally on an esoteric path here, because it's only through intuition that we can grok truth. And thank God the Gita just keeps reminding us that that intuition is the key. And that can only happen when you are able to control the life force in the body. So it gets very interesting here. There's a lot going on, especially this idea of the Kundalini power. The Kundalini power, Yogananda has a song, a chant actually, goes like this. Why, O mind, wanderest thou? Go in thine inner home. Why, O mind, wanderest thou? Go to thine inner home. On the left, Ida. On the right, Pingala. On the left, Ida. On the right, Pingala. In the middle, the tainless Shushumna sees. Seize her with all thy might. In the middle, the tainless Shushumna sees. Seize her with all thy might. Guru given power by pranayama, wake. Wake her with all thy might. Guru given power by pranayama, wake. Wake her with all thy might. Kundalini power by pranayama, wake. Wake her with all thy might. Kundalini power by pranayama, wake. Wake her with all thy might. She is sleeping, the Kunda, the Kula Kundalini. That's Draupadi, represented in the Gita. As this meaning, this passion for things of this world and complete passion for truth. Draupadi, she was the one that was the wife to all the 5 good guys, the Pandus, right? And she's also known as the Kula Kundalini. She sleeps at the root chakra because she's asleep, because we are asleep by being absolutely hypnotized by the outer world, by our thinking minds, by our worldly desires, and on like that. So we have to wake her up. And how do we wake her up? We wake her up through, don't you love it? We have that almighty power spirit, I am, by reclaiming who we really are at that root chakra and getting busy to create a foundation of making it non-negotiable in that chakra that we are going to turn to the light. We are going to turn to within, to our soul. We are going to affirm over and over, Spirit, I am. I am the almighty power of spirit. Or, Lord, I am you and you are all. I am. I am. That's how we start to wake up that Kundalini. And then we're going to bring her up chakra by practicing our steps until she is lodged in the crown chakra as the omniscient sun, thousands of suns and moons. This is what the path, the esoteric path of fire and light, is suggesting that anyone interested in being free, this is what the very first step is. We must follow this path of fire, or meaning that we must bring into our control the life energy, also known as the Kundalini power. So the first scientific step towards emancipation is to gain control of this life force. In ordinary men and women, the course of prana is downward, the way of darkness, flowing from the brain to the sensory nerves and the countless cells of the body. This dispersion and diffusion of life energy reveal to human consciousness the material world. This is where humanity is stuck, right here. We've been hypnotized. We have let everything slip down. The energy flows down and out at our root chakra. The root chakra is a container. You know, that's why we have Sahadeva there. Comes out and he says, stop the bleeding. We need to plug up all our energy leaks because this precious life force is flowing down and out. And we need to plug up all those energy leaks at the root chakra. That's why Kundalini sleeps, because that container isn't containing. It's got holes in it. All right. So it's wise to get wind of some of the stuff we have studied. This is all we've all talked about this, you know, but it's really easy to forget it, and it's so hard to retain it and maintain it and to realize it, right? But that dispersion of the life force that's flowing down, this abundance of the sun of omnipresent cosmic consciousness, and then the divine light, the powerhouse, you know, of the cosmic light force that's just blasting into now the astral body and just filling the energy and light of your astral body with such perfection. But then it goes down and out, or it's either contained by the Sahadeva power in your root chakra that's retaining, that's holding the container, that is not allowing any more energy leaks of our restlessness, habits, all that stuff, okay? Just so you have an understanding what we're up to here. But most of the ordinary person, that energy is going down and out in Beverly Hills, flowing from the brain to sensory nerves and the countless cells of the body. This dispersion and diffusion of life energy revealed to human consciousness the material world. In the successful yogi, hello, give your successful yogi a hug. Right? On the other hand, the course of prana is upward, the way of light, the way of light. By yoga, she and he reverse the direction of the flow and is able to concentrate the whole of her life force within the brain, in the sun of cosmic consciousness. In this way, God is revealed. The sun, the thousand petal lotus, seventh chakra, moving all up, and just here comes the return of the king and queen soul to sit in this throne in the palace of the medulla, the spiritual eye, and the crown chakra, in samadhi bliss, in cosmic consciousness, in Satchidananda, ever existing, new bliss, ever conscious, ever existing, ever new bliss. The sun of cosmic consciousness is the supreme source of life. Right here in your crown chakra, the sun of cosmic consciousness is the supreme source of life and intelligence in the body, with its abode in the seventh or highest spiritual center, in the cerebrum, in the thousand-petaled lotus, a sunburst of 1,000 suns. How much faith, how much concentration, how much intuition, how much devotion are you going to need to pull up to get more intimate with this truth of truth. Thousands of suns and moons of cosmic wisdom, bliss, joy, happiness. It's just bursting as a sun in your crown chakra, or we would want it to burst. Right now, it's as asleep as the Kundalini is at our root chakra, right? All life and faculties in the body evolve from this, love this line, powerhouse of luminosity. So you can now have a new term for this crown chakra. Go into your powerhouse. Trisha had in home in Encinitas, she had a powerhouse called, and she put a tent in the backyard, and it was her place to go because she got that from Quest Haven when we realized the founder there had her powerhouse where she would just go sit and just be her and the infinite, her and her soul, her and the holy ones, right? And nothing could get in there. And it's just she powered herself up. She just revved herself up. All life and faculties in the body evolve from this powerhouse of luminosity through its projected rays of the spiritual eye. Projected rays of it. Now, if you ever was wondering about why we call this the Christ light strike, to use this as the light, be a light commando and strike the darkness. Well, now you know you have a powerhouse of luminosity coming from the sun. Thousands of suns and moons, the sunburst in the thousand-petaled lotus coming through and projected as rays from the spiritual eye. You didn't know that, did you? Just like you don't know that you have all this power. If there's not too many links, we have no power at our root chakra. But if we have plugged up a few things in our life, if we're getting a little steadier, we're going to have some power to give us the launch energy to bring this energy back up, because we have descended. Have you noticed? And we are trying to ascend, right? How's your Satya Yuga consciousness going? Everything we have done since day one and put these 8 attunements of the heart in there and all our steps and this and that, it's pure genius. It's pure genius. It's given us some practical way from where we are sitting here in this delusion, in our karma and all this stuff, really a chance through the back door, as it were, to give us a shot at the truth and the realization that we have available to us all the time, lifetime after lifetime. So those rays are then, all life and faculties in the body evolve from that powerhouse of the luminosity through the projected rays of the spiritual eye, all the way into the causal body, into the astral body, into the physical body. 100%. But what do we feel it? Do we even care about it? Interesting delusion, right? That's why there's no rest for those who are sleeping in delusion. But the sleep is so hypnotic. It's like the poppies in the poppy field. She couldn't wake up. It's got us drugged. So there's a great quote here from St. Augustine's Confessions, and it said, "I entered and beheld with the eye of my soul. Above the same eye of my soul, and above my mind, the light unchangeable. Not this common light, which shines for all flesh, nor as it were a greater of the same kind, as though the brightness of this should shine out more and more brightly, and with this greatness take up all space. Not such was this light, but different, yea, far different from all these. Nor was it above my soul as oil is above water, nor yet as the sky is above the earth, but it was above me, because it made me, and I was below it, because I was made by it. He that knoweth the truth knoweth that light, and he knoweth it, knoweth eternity." Wow. We are so far from knowing ourselves, my dears. This is why I'm just my soul's always trying to wake myself up, and it's trying to help as many souls, be more interested in the truth, not just at Passover, one time through, read a few words of wisdom, right? but to get busy because your soul's got all the answers for you. It's the only product worth really selling. It's the only thing on the market that's worthwhile. Everything else is a sham. Even Cisco, I think, Cisco and Ebert, the guys that did all those movie reviews and all that. He had a near-death experience. Cisco did. I think it was Cisco. And when he came out of that, his wife, he just went to his wife. He said, honey, we've totally missed the point. Totally missed the point. Missed the point completely. This is a sham here. Nothing is real. We put all our energy into something that is not even real. I've seen the light. I know what I'm saying. And that is why last week we had our first precious glimpse of truth, didn't we? Well, that quote actually comes up towards the end here, but I gave it to you last week. And what is that first precious glimpse? That all life is delusion. And if you want to know why there is a basis in saying that our first step of realization is to know that all life is delusion, remember those Four Noble Truths of the Lord Buddha? I did because I took so much Gita. I mean, not Gita, but Buddhism in college. The Four Noble Truths are, number one, life is full of suffering. Does that sound familiar to what we just learned in the Hindu way of going about that? In the Gita? Is there a similarity there? Life is full of suffering. Two, suffering is caused by ignorance and selfish desire. Noble truth number two. Number three, but when the ignorance and craving are reduced, suffering is reduced. Plug up those energy leaks, baby. Transmute it, alchemize it. Come on, let's get busy with our Satya Yuga consciousness. And finally, the way to overcome suffering is the path, the Eightfold Path to enlightenment. They didn't say Eightfold Path in here, but that's what they're referring to, is the path to enlightenment. Whether you're going to do the 8 steps of Patanjali or the 8 steps of Buddhism, doesn't matter. Just get your steps in. Do the 12 steps program, but something that you have to be totally dependent on. Otherwise, you're going to be either completely off the wagon or totally immersed in a whole new change in consciousness within yourself, right? So the successful yogi is able to concentrate the whole of his life force within the brain and the sun of cosmic consciousness. In this way, God is revealed. So light in stanza 24. Let me read stanza 24 since we are talking about it. Fire, light, daytime, the bright half of the lunar month, the 6 months of the northern course of the sun. Pursuing this path at the time of departure, the knowers of God go to God. All right. And then we have verse 25, which is smoke, nighttime, the dark half of the lunar month, the 6 months of the southern course of the sun. He who follows this path obtains only the lunar light and then returns to earth. The final verse here, verse 26, these two paths for exiting from the world are reckoned eternal. The way of light leads to release. The way of darkness leads to rebirth. That's what we're on. These are these verses that we're on right now. But light in this stanza refers to the divine eye in the forehead. What? We spend some time there, don't we? But now you know it's this powerhouse of luminosity projecting its rays from the infinite sun source, from the source of the supreme source of life, pouring out from your spiritual eye. Kaboom! Wow. Now you got a problem with a thought? Why don't you put it right up here? Either blast it in from the crown, just let the solar flares, the soul, S-O-U-L, solar flares from the thousands of sun bursting there, just completely fry that thought, destroy your thoughts, all you sent. Then all you need to do is think away the thoughts you want to destroy, to destroy, and replace them with constructive ones. replace them with constructive ones. But do we do this? Do we use these powers that we're trying to wake up, these soul powers? Do we use God's help to help us with dealing with the everyday, every moment? And I'm trying to bring up now for a while to go. We're going to need to go back and check out those prince and princesses that are governing the roots cause of these senses that we have from the astral perspective. And if we're not careful, we're going to, well, we have two choices there: to go the way of the light and learn to spiritualize and become Lord or Regina of our 10 senses, or we're going to fall straight on our, you know what, go straight into that dark place, the way of dark or the way of light. But the key, I believe, at this point in this journey for me, the key, I believe, at this point in my journey for me, is that we are in the physical world. We have all these senses going. We have the 10, right? We have the perception ones: eyes, ears, nose, mouth, tactual, touch. And we have the organs of activity senses. And that is our talking, our walking, our grasping, our eliminating, and our procreating. Those are the 10. And these princesses' names of the good guys are so good, and the princess or princesses' names of when King Ego is ruling, when ignorance is ruling us, they're really, really not so good names, man. We have a choice. But it is in these everydays: eating, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, walking, grasping, right? Releasing. And whatever is our sexual life, right? The procreating. All of these need to be mastered, my dears. It's the key, because we're already in a sensory world. Now we need to turn to, be wise, really wise devotees, and know that if we can spiritualize these 10 senses, we're going to find the key to life. It's the key to heaven. It's in our hands. So light in this stanza refers to the divine eye in the forehead, whose awakening enables the yogi to say with Christ, I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. I'm powerful, beautiful, powerful, beautiful. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I'm the light of the world. We can say that. Did you get what he said here? With Christ. No, Christ said, da da da. No, we get to say this with Christ. I am the light of the world, and he that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. That's John, the disciple John. The light of the spiritual eye is the projection of the sun of cosmic consciousness, thousands of suns and moons, the supreme source of life. Through the light of the spiritual eye, the yogi moves along the path to spirit. So what does daytime lead to this upward ascending yogi? What does that mean? It is the manifestation of the spiritual eye during the samadhi state of meditation. Daytime, and we can make a little change here for us, which we don't have to, but we will put it in a way that you might understand it better. I might understand it better. Daytime is the manifestation of the spiritual eye during the samadhi state of meditation. Daytime for us, in the daytime that it means here, and you'll know more in a minute, is when we sit down to have our regular meditation. Somehow there's a little light that goes on, right? Something happens in that meditation. So we can say whatever state of meditation that we get into, we can call that, as we focus at the spiritual eye, feeling all that power descending into us, and hopefully we have the Sahadeva there protecting us from the energy leaks, and feeling that container of the Kundalini power ready, just stirred up. Kundalini power, in her subtle form, liveth unconscious in the coccyx region. Oh, I kind of messed up that chant. I missed that one. Kundalini power in its subtle form. Kundalini power in its subtle form. Liveth unconscious in the coccyx region. Guru given power by pranayama. Wake her with all thy might. See, there's the song right there. That's what we have going. She's ready to wake up. Another way to look at that is like each of the Pandu brothers, it was her wife, Draupadi, this passion, for all things that are online, passion for the truth. They were her wife, and they had a baby, a son, and a son of a chakra of making love to the Kundalini in each of the chakras as we go up the chakras into this ascent to a full glory in our brains, where we're going to put our full attention in the brain. We make love to that Kundalini. We make love to those steps that we are practicing the truth in those chakras, and we give birth to what is called Drapadeya, an awakened chakra, the sun, her son, the awakened chakras. Isn't that beautiful? Don't you love? We're really getting some good Gita in right here. So this daytime is the yogis. This is the yogis' daytime. The daytime is the manifestation of the spiritual eye during the samadhi state of meditation. This is the yogi's daytime, where he has awakened from the sleep of delusion. All right. And the bright half of the lunar month is that half of the advanced yogi's consciousness that remains awake and attuned to this cosmic consciousness with our deepest, sincerest intention, right? And of course, a heart that does not doubt anymore. This is the key to the whole thing. This is the key. You are what your heart is. You understand or don't understand what's exact in correspondence with what's in your heart right now. If the heart is out of tune, you're going to be totally out of tune. If it's worried, then everything is a worry. If it is stuck on something, a resentment or whatever, that's all there is. Whatever your heart is. So when it's pure, though, when it is devotional, right? When it comes back and there's nothing else but this, but my heart's desire burns like a fire every minute, every day. What a key song. Because if you have a heart's desire for the truth, you're going to that's going to be such a blessing, and you're going to get so many blessings and so much help, total help. 100% help on that. You're cooking. So we can go to the top end here of Krishna's talking to so-called advanced devotees, as we've said over and over again. We gotta know that we are that more than we are this idea that we have of ourselves. Please don't believe your mind. Please give it up. Put it into the fire. Now you had a couple fires, a sacred fire in your root chakra, to just get back and remember who you are, the soul rebel on fire for complete liberation, emancipation, right? And this crown chakra, my father and I are one. Success and joy, my father and I are one. We got to get it all awake. We got to wake it up, baby. Awake, arise, remember who you are. So the bright half of the lunar moon is that half of the advanced yogi's consciousness that remains awake and attuned to cosmic consciousness, even when the other half of his consciousness is asleep or active in the material world of delusion. This sounds just like I always used to use this analogy of the dolphins. They would die if they don't stay half awake. They're aware of their breath. They stay awake by being aware of their breath. If they didn't, they wouldn't die. They would die instantly. So half of them is wide awake, aware of their breathing, and the other half is asleep. So if they can do it, we can do it. A similar reference is made it was chapter 2, verse 69. We had this verse before. That which is night to all creatures, the ones who are asleep in ignorance, is wakefulness to the man of self-mastery. That which is night to all creatures is wakefulness to the person of self-mastery. And what is wakefulness to ordinary man? That is night. So what is the ordinary man? What is wakefulness? And they're all in their ignorance and everything. That's good night. Good night. Turn down the lights. Dun, 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 dun. Right? Turn down the lights, baby. I'm not getting involved in anything that's going to take me down the way of the dark. And what is wakefulness to ordinary man? That is night to the divinely perceptive sage. So this is cool, though, about the moon. The moon is light as a reflection of the sun, is a bright fortnight, a waxing period, and a dark fortnight, waning period in its monthly cycle. So the sun of cosmic consciousness shining on the matter, the light of the astral world and our bodies that upholds and enlivens the material world and our body, the sun of cosmic consciousness, being projected, this luminosity, this powerhouse luminosity through the spiritual eye, is here referred to as reflected or lunar light. In man or woman, a miniature universe. Its bright side is when it is spiritualized. In man, a miniature we are miniature universes. So we are that moon and the sun. Its bright side. You just gotta look at the bright side of life. Do 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 do. The Monty Python when Christ was on the cross with the thieves, ready for crucifixion, right? That song. So when we look at the bright side, is when we're spiritualized and turned towards cosmic consciousness. That's our bright side. When we're spiritualizing everything, spiritualizing the senses. We're going to be working on that like we did on the yugas. We are. We're going to be spending a lot of time on those. And I can get you the streams and all that and give you the page numbers. It's the early pages. I just didn't have my book with me this time. But the early pages, like the first 20 pages. Chapter 1, volume 1, right? That's where Yogananda, first verse, commentary, goes for 50 pages. Why? Because he's giving us a foundation that we flew through it. We're flying through this, Gita, really. But now when we go back, that's where the juice is. That's where you start to go, oh, yeah, I think I understand this a little more. But not to go back is to really kind of miss the point here, man. Because it's not going to give you that ability to awaken that kundalini and to plug up those energy leaks of the yamas. Back to the yamas and the niyamas. So we are a miniature universe. Its bright side is when we are spiritualizing everything and turning towards cosmic consciousness. And its dark side is when we are turned towards delusion. You realize that the second you turn to the dark side, you're done. You're in the dark, you're on your way down. There's no neutral place. No, put in the neutral here, see what I'm going to do. Play and toy with this temptation or what, right? No, as soon as you turn in the direction of the temptation, you're cooked pretty much, unless you really got your game plan, A game on. When we turn to the light, that's our only safety, as you know. And to stay aware of that light and to stay aware every day, in every way, more and better. Okay, now we're cooking as soul rebels, right? Now we're cooking as someone who can say, I'm a child of God. Other than that, I'm kind of just still kind of not quite sure. Because if I was sure, maybe that's our prayer today. Lord, make me sure of who I am, so that I can master completely who I am and give it back to you and melt back into the oneness with you. So we're going to turn, and the dark side is when it's turned towards illusion. In advanced yogi, the cerebral-binal centers, though performing their activities that externally enliven the body. So here's a half that's performing the duties in the world, right? necessitating their working through and the instruments of nature or delusion, the outward flowing or dark side. By the way, everything that's flowing from that light is flowing into your lower center, but that lower center, the coccyx, is also controlled by the dark force. You come in and it's on all top. It's all top us. It's all the dark force because you're under a major delusion here. Excuse me. So that's going on. The dark force is pumping into that root chakra, right? That's why it's one of the gateways to hell. That's where lust is and all that kind of stuff, and total addictions and all that stuff. But so is the light pumping in. And we might give you those streams that were about the battle of life too, in case you've forgotten that we could be already too far gone at this stage. We don't know. I mean, if we still are just kind of, man, well, I don't know. We might, so don't worry about that. Just get busy and light a fire, baby. Light a fire. There ain't no other option, is there? When the yogi withdraws from external activities and enters samadhi through the light of the spiritual eye, that is the true bright fortnight. That period of the day when his and her whole being, so that little time you sit in your meditation chair, or any time you think of God, our whole being is inwardly ablaze. Do you see how much power you have? An intuitive imagination you have to turn this stuff around like this? This is what we teach. This is why we go back. All those old things, I go back and review the steps over and over and over and over and over again. Why do we put the steps in there? Because where are you going to be putting old virtuous steps? Or the ones that are going to lead you into trouble steps? Because that's one of the senses of action. Walking. Where are those feet taking you? Right? That period of the day when the whole being is inwardly ablaze, turned towards spirit, basking in the sun of cosmic consciousness. Intuitive imagination brings you instant happiness. The 6 months are the 6 spinal centers, the coccygeal to the spiritual eye. Thus, the 6 months of the northern course of the sun refers to the 6 periods of spiritual perceptions in these centers as consciousness and life, descended from the sun of cosmic consciousness into the body, are reversed to flow upward north. North is a good thing. True north is a really good thing. To their supreme source in the cerebrum. So to go up is north. Remember that. And that's why when Arjuna was just shooting arrows in the battle where Bhishma, the ego, was taken down by these arrows, but the more that Arjuna shot at him, nothing happened. And ego says, there's no way you can kill me. The only way that I disappear is when the sun turns completely to the north. Thousands of suns and moons from my body do shine. Thousands of suns and moons. Just go there. Toast every thought you have, man. Toast every little stinking desire you still have. Toast it here. Toast it, or blast it. Now you know how much power is flowing through you, and that's the truth. And don't doubt that. You've got to be the doubt slayer completely now. Completely. What transpires as a yogi moves along this way of light is a veritable, intricate transition of his life and consciousness through the spiritual eye. First, life and consciousness move upward through the physical spine and brain, freeing the yogi from the physical body. Oh yeah, if you're near life force retreats up the spine, it's static. There's no more pain. There's no more thought. There's no more nothing. You're feeling it, baby. You are feeling the ascent. You are without identification to your body. Then transition through the 3 astral spines of light, the Sushumna. The Sushumna is the main one in your astral body, but there's also 2 others, Vrajra and Chitra. And I was going to go back and see what those represent, but I think they're other two channels for light to move in your astral body. So you actually have the Shushumna, which is the main astral spine, and you also have Raja and Chitra. So you have three astral spine, one physical spine and one causal spine, the Brahmanadi. So you have five spines. So this is not a time to get spineless about anything in life. Five spines, but also they're coverings. So we got to get in there, through them, conquer. We come, we love, and we conquer, right? We get in there and we zoom up the physical, then we zoom up the astral, then we zoom up, lastly, ascension through the causal spine of consciousness. Make it a game. Make it a game. Can you play games anymore? Do you like to play games anymore? Make this a game with yourself. Or are you too dead serious? Jesus. Have mercy on us. Really too serious. You're always analyzing something. I'm talking about the human condition. I'm talking about all of us. What are we doing? Well, listen, what we are doing is the non-doing of what we are attached to and letting come forth the powers that are ready to go to come and save the day. So we go up that causal spine, the Brahmanadi, whereby the soul is liberated in spirit. I think that spine of Brahmanadi starts a little more higher. I think maybe even from your dorsal up. The other ones start in different places. The astral ones not quite as high as your physical, low as your physical one, but it's all in here. We just got to get in there and seek it out and study it, or it will come to us in these later pages. But it doesn't matter. You play the game of going through the physical spine and then the astral spine and then the Brahmanadi, the causal spine, any way you wish, right? Just do your breath. Imagine, okay, I'm going through the physical spine right now, all the way up to your steps. Maybe that's 3 rounds of steps, right? You can do steps up, steps down, any way you want to do it. It's your game, but play the game. Play the game. Practice your steps. The more you put your attention on the truth, the more you're going to wake up, the faster it is, and the grace and ease it is. And then the other way around, it goes the other way. And we're stuck, right? We're kind of stuck in that halfway place. So much of the time, until we kind of say, nah, 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 kick it into gear. At death, the soul of the successful yogi, following the path, this path rises majestically, unencumbered from the revolving cycles of obligatory rebirths. Now, and this is described in verse 25 by contrast, the way of darkness that leads to continued mortal bondage. Change of scenery, change of voice, change of energy, right? That leads to continued mortal bondage. All right. We don't have to spend much time on this because you know what the opposite of what we just talked about is. Smoke means ignorance or delusion that obscures divine perception of reality. And that holds men and women, even the still aspiring yogi, in body consciousness. Until we get out of body consciousness, kids, it's no fun. It's no fun. When we start to get out of body consciousness, it becomes fun. And while we're in body consciousness, no matter how stuck, make it fun. Play a game. Be a little kid. All right. Be lighthearted. Come on, sing, dance, whatever you need to do. Nighttime, for this descending way to go of darkness, the way of darkness, is the state of darkness caused by ignorance. Jesus said, now this is kind of new to me. I knew this part of the quote. The light of the body is the eye, the omniscient, single, or spiritual eye. If therefore thy eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. That's the one that we usually talk about. Well, we stopped there, but I didn't know there was this too added to it from Matthew. Matthew, I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't read this dark side of the quote. But if thine eye be evil, and all it takes is one askewed thought that is turning towards that which is not the truth and is the asat, the untruth, it can lead to complete darkness. Just like that. bang. You know what I'm saying. If that eye be evil, obscured by delusion, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? You know, you have two ways to go. You have two choices always. Choose the light, non-negotiable. It's the light. I'm just going to stay lighthearted. I'm just going to do whatever I can to stay lighthearted and to practice, practice, practice more today than yesterday. The 6 months, the dark half of the lunar moon is the outflowing life and consciousness from the cerebral centers in the spiritually unawakened man that causes him to dream the dreams of delusive material activity in his nighttime of ignorance. The 6 months of the southern course of the sun refers to the descent of the delusion clouded sun of cosmic consciousness through the 6 spinal centers to the lower or southern part of the body, especially the 3 lower spinal centers, also known, as Krishna says, the gateways to hell. Stay away from them at all costs. Associated with material consciousness. That's southern. We don't want to go south. This whole thing can go south, in a minute like that, right? North star. Me, my pole star, North Star, pole star of my life. These references in this context are specifically in relation to the time of death or departure from the physical body. So those whose inner divine sight is clouded by smoke of delusion leave the body in the nighttime or darkness of ignorance, unconscious, or at least not fully conscious of the transition from the physical to the astral body and world, departing in the dark lunar fortnight with his unawakened consciousness in the spinal center, still attracted to delusive material activities, his exiting consciousness and life force retire from the physical body and flow downward the southern course. In this way, unconsciously moving through the dark side or out, not the bright side, the dark side or outflowing energy of the 6 spinal centers, he descends into the astral body. His state of advancement and good karma, this is up for grabs now. His advancement and a good karma determine, so let's say we have some advancement though, and we still, how many times have we done that? So many thousands of times probably, right? So we have some good karma and we are some advancement and subsequently stay in the astral. We're passed through in oblivious darkness like a deep sleep, or with perhaps occasional dreams or glimpses of the astral world. And then in parentheses, only evil persons experience astral nightmares or hell. So we're going to avoid that at all costs for sure. Completely evil, right? Evil in worth time day, not give it time day. You got to smoke that. you gotta just torch it. You can go fire center anywhere you want. Even your third chakra is a there's a like what I call one of those stoves. Those that you put in the houses, the little enough stove, right? Pot belly stove. Yeah, you got fire centers that you can toast, you can roast. Thoughts, feelings, everything. Do it now. You got to have practice. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to just get through the inertia of trying, letting that thought hang around and just toast it again and again. You've got to keep working on the bright side of you, so that when it's time to throw the dark side in there, the bright's there, so you just throw it in there, because otherwise the dark is going to keep you from getting there, to remember that there was even light there. All right. So, or whether he is fully awake in the glory of the heavenly realms. You can be awake in the heavenly realms and still be going the opposite way. In any case, not having attained freedom in spirit, but only the lunar light or astral encasement of his soul, he remains in the astral world for karmically determined time, and then his physical desires and karma kick in, cause him to take rebirth. In the darkness or sleep of astral death, he passes into the sperm and ovum united cell and begins his rebirth in the dark womb of his new mother. That's another great stream that if you guys, if you're going to give me a holler, I'll get them to you. All right. But I'm not going to send them to you, because I send stuff now and they just sit there. And I understand that too, because we have so much going on. I just can't take it anymore. I just got to let it just kind of hang out a bit. So even the accomplished yogi who is in samadhi meditation attains high states of divine communion, but not opened all doors to liberation from the physical, astral, and causal soul encasement, has to return from samadhi to body consciousness. At death, his astral sojourn is a glorious one. But having attained only the lunar light of the astral heaven and harboring unfinished material desires and karma, he revolves back to rebirth on earth, but with divine aspiration that predisposes him to a spiritual life. So it's all good news for us, either way you look at it. Don't worry about up or down, good or bad. Just full throttle, man, into the light. Punch it, Chewie. A literal interpretation of these verses that the yogis must die in the daytime. So here's where a lot of people are talking about. I don't even quite understand it, but Yogananda want to make a point. A literal interpretation of these verses that the yogi must die in the daytime as well as in a luminous fortnight, occurring within a 6-month period of the northern passage of the sun, is senseless. An illumined yogi leaves his body instantaneously at any time he chooses during the day or night, the bright or dark lunar fortnight. Says the soul's in charge. The northern or southern course of the sun. He does not have to consult the brainless stars for an auspicious hour. Since time began, never has there been an inauspicious hour for man to awake from delusion. There's no auspicious time to do that. Never has there been an auspicious hour for man to awake from delusion. Any time is a good time to wake up. All right, now this we can finish. I'm going to finish. This will only take a couple of minutes. These verses 27, 28 just explain what we just did, and the commentary is a few sentences. You ready? And we finish chapter 8. Can you believe that? Can you believe this? Verse 27, no yogi who understands these two paths. And I just want to put it here because we just went over them. The way, the esoteric path of fire and light, the way to liberation, or the way of darkness. No yogi who understands these two paths is ever deluded into following the way of darkness. See, if you understand this, you're not going to follow the way of darkness. Therefore, O Arjuna, at all times maintain thyself firmly in yoga, union, remembrance of the step, this breath, in my heart with you, my beloved, back again and again. Therefore, O Arjuna, since you're not going to be deluded by following the way of darkness, therefore, at all times maintain thyself firmly in yoga, in union, in love, in your heart, in the light. Okay? That was verse 27. 28, he who knows the truth about the two paths. So you who know this truth and are going to take the path of light gains merit far beyond any implicit in the study of the scriptures, or in sacrifices, or in penances, or in gift giving. That yogi reaches his supreme origin. Go, rebels, go. Wow. And this is the final little commentary to those two verses. First of all, you who understand that there's two paths, one, the ever deluded to two paths is ever, no yogi who understands these two paths is ever deluded. All right? Therefore, maintain firmness in yoga at all times, Arjuna. And then finally, he who knows the truth about the two paths gains all those merits that I talked to and reaches a supreme origin. And Yogananda's commentary, and then we'll end, kids. Thank you for a few extra moments this morning. To know that he lives in a state of cosmic delusion is man's first precious glimpse of truth. So that's why we talked about that last week and a little bit about our first precious glimpse of truth is to know that we live in a state of cosmic delusion. And remember that the first step that we need to take here is that we have the first scientific step towards emancipation to gain control of the life force, right? And that Kundalini, and wake her up, root chakra, because everything's flowing in. Hopefully we can gather now all this sunburst cosmic consciousness and this powerhouse luminosity from the spiritual eye strikes and influencing all the faculties of the body, and then just containing it at the root chakra and gathering all that power, right? Kundalini power in its Kundalini power in its subtle form liveth unconscious in the coccyx region. Kundalini power in its subtle form liveth unconscious in the coccyx region. Guru given power by pranayama, wake her with all your might. So it's Guru given power by breathing, your pranayama practice. Guru given power by pranayama, wake her with all thy might. So to know that you live in a state of cosmic delusion is man's first precious glimpse of truth. The second is to know that you have a powerhouse luminosity happening here, the sunburst here. It's all coming into your chakras, and it's going to get contained now because of your self-restraint and Sahadeva's help, and the power of no, and the power of neti neti, not this, and the power of you're in a sacred fire, and you're a soul rebel, and all those things that you know that, and that energy, you're going to have a blast and have fun and lighthearted as you bring it up each step at a time, over and over and over again, till you lodge it here in the crown chakra and just be inflamed in bliss, burning flames of bliss. And then light strikes unceasingly, okay? So learn and practice yoga. The method of deliverance from delusion, just like that deliverance of the third noble truth, is that you can be delivered from all this stuff. And the eight-way middle way is the way. Krishna is saying the same thing. The method of deliverance from all delusion, all suffering, all desires more, is to possess an incomparable treasure. The method, we have it right here. You've got it. Is an incomparable treasure. Can you treasure that incomparable treasure of this gift and make it the only thing that is in your consciousness day in, day out, morning through night? The only thing that matters. I have a quote from Jesus. I'm going to do that because I found that I go back and listen to this. I want to have it complete. I'm going to give you a Jesus calling quote to end this after Yogananda. This is that you possess an incomparable treasure. So, O devotee, at all times maintain thyself firmly in yoga. O devotee, at all times maintain thyself firmly in that love union, right? In that inspiration of your heart, to be in the heart, right? And this is be a little clue on what we need to do. And this is from Jesus. And he's got a special message that was in not long ago, came up in probably one of the May ones. Okay, here it is. This is so cool. Seek my face at the beginning of your day. This practice enables you to put me on and wear me. Because each one of these steps has an outfit, flames outfit. I talk about that in those early streams. You got to create, have fun. A little kid put on the outfits for the different consciousnesses that are in each of these chakras and wear it, because you're going to be wearing God. You're going to be wearing your soul powers. Seek my face at the beginning of your day. This practice enables you to put me on and wear me throughout the day. Most people put on clothes soon after arising from bed. Similarly, the sooner you put me on by communicating with me, the better prepared you are for whatever comes your way. Wear God. To wear me is essentially to have my mind. To have God's mind. To wear me is to have God consciousness. To think my thoughts. Ask. Oh, you might say, ask the Holy Spirit to control your thinking as you want him to control your life. If you have the guts to want to be controlled, or are you still happy that you're so unhappy and trying to control things your way? Huh? And you look at it and go, that's the way it is. Wow. Ask him to control your thinking. Be transformed by this renewal within you. Totally transformed. Up to you. Thus, you are well equipped to face whatever people and situations I bring your way. Clothing your mind in me is your best preparation for each day. This discipline brings joy and peace to you and those around you. Therefore, this is from Colossians. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And this is why it's a good introduction to when we go over being princes and princesses of the Lord of the senses, because now is the time. Now that is the most important practice you can ever consider doing. those things that we've talked about. We have them on tape, and we're going to do. Because this second round through, this second is the one that's going to bring you to liberation. Really get you going. Up, up, higher and higher you go. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I know we took a little while. Blessings and love to all of you. Let me just sign out here for those who see this stream later on, not on the live chat. God bless you. There's so much power waiting at your root chakra. Go and collect it up. Save it. And then let's bring it up to higher states of being happy and prosperous and compassionate and loving and just full of fun and joy. All right. Namaste.